Uh,
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So looks like I'm the interviewer and I have a question for you.
Okay.
What do you do if you face a conflict situation at work? Can you give me an example?
Sure. Well, I think a lot of complex situations, just in general, really are due to miscommunication, and this can happen at work as well. Um, so I think the first thing to do would be to maybe bring in a manager or a mediator for with the person I might be having a with to help us communicate better with each other. um, and just kind of take a step back and like explain where we're each coming from and our goals of what we were trying to accomplish, and maybe find the root cause of what could have led to a miscommunication. So I think, yeah, the key here is to communicate more um, actively and effectively,
Yeah,
and maybe take time as well to listen to the other person, instead of jumping in and saying, "Well, this is how I thought things should be done." For me, I guess conflicts, in my experience, I've worked internationally, and so I've had conflicts arise. For example, I worked in China at one point in my
mm,
career, and conflicts, not necessarily conflicts, but just miscommunications arose because of language and cultural differences. And so the way that I tried to handle those instances, maybe it was, I thought we should communicate within my team, I thought we should communicate with clients and say this, and my team member thought we should say that because it was a cultural difference of how to communicate with our clients. And so
mm,
the way that we approached it was by, yeah, asking our manager who, was Chinese but grew up in Australia. So she had a good point of view of both sides of
okay.
Chinese versus foreigner. So asked her to mediate and suggest the best way to communicate with clients effectively,
Mm,
based on her own background. So yeah, I did bring in a third person to kind of help a bit, and someone that could understand both sides of where I might have been coming from with my Chinese colleagues.
and what was the outcome? Did you choose like one way over the other?
Yeah, I think it was a way we wanted to communicate with clients, and our clients were Chinese, so we chose to communicate in a way that best served them, which was um, more of a Chinese way of communicating,
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So yeah, we went with that, and I understood that better once we all chatted together.
yeah.
Mhm.
And you mentioned bringing in a manager, but what if your miscommunication or conflict is with the manager? What would you do in that situation?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I would probably bring some, I don't know, maybe. Oh yeah, that's a good question. I think I would just express to the manager, how I felt. Like I feel like we're missing, like we're not communicating effectively here. And if it's okay with you, like I'd like to bring in someone else on our team to help us chat about this. So someone
Mm,
else has been working with us on the same project or with this in the same area of the business. But would definitely first express that I felt like we were miscommunicating and say, I hope, would that be okay if we bring someone in? Because
yeah,
in a reverse scenario, you would probably depend on the manager to do that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
Have you
interesting
had that
question.
situation? Yeah, I'm just trying to think.
No, luckily I haven't had many conflicts in my work life, and the conflicts that I mentioned, that example, wasn't anything big or blown out. It was just like, well, what's the best way to share
Yeah,
with our customers? And your way is the best way because they are from this culture, so it makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. We're about to run out of time, so thank you.
Okay, thank you.